And what that was for them to, what I wanted to show them that they did have ways to connect and communicate before this tragedy happened. And so they do have a strength. So I really try to highlight the strength of, look at these things you used to do together before the tragedy happened. You can still do these things as a way to connect, as a way to feel the healing, as a way to really feel like you're not always at odds. And so the way that they would do that is I had them tell me what they used to do before their father's passing, their husband and father's passing, that allowed them to connect in that way and allowed them to communicate in better ways. And they both had some great examples about the ways that they were able to communicate and spend time together. So what I wanted them to do was make it a priority to try to do one of these things that they mentioned that was a way that allowed them to communicate and to really get back to that place where it was productive, the relationship was moving, it wasn't maladaptive, and they were able to deal. So what I gave them was that task to, go and do this thing. This is your homework. And doing homework is one of the key components of structural family therapy, going and doing the work. So I think there is some good I did in terms of attending skills, making them feel heard, repeating what I was hearing in terms of summarizing, saying, okay, so what I'm hearing is that you're frustrated with your daughter and what she's doing. And on the other hand, I wanted to make sure that the daughter was also heard in terms of her frustrations, because I think if we can clarify the feelings in the room, then we can then find ways of getting around that and helping the other person to see what they can do to help make the situation better, instead of just blaming the fact that they're there and the fact that they're not operating well as a family on the daughter and the way she's acting out. I wanted to put an emphasis on the fact that both of them are going through something, and what they needed now was to understand what that feels like for the other, and then be able to communicate and then restructure how they're living their lives, because they did lose someone big. So I think that worked really well in terms of this video and this intervention. I think moving forward, I do want to discover more of those tools and exercises that are used in structural family therapy. More task giving, of course, around spending time around, making sure that the interactions are going good and getting that feedback from each member. And I really liked the fact that I could talk to both and keep them in the room, keep them in the conversation. Excuse me. And so I think that went really well. I think that I was able to kind of get to the heart of what was going on and how they were feeling. But I do have a lot of work that I want to do on really doing that attending and really doing that breakdown, because I feel like in structural family therapy, it's extremely important to really understand what the issue is, what each of the parties is feeling, what are the situations that are causing this to be worse. And so I really want to develop those skills that will allow me to get a full knowledge and partnering with each member in the family, because it's really, really important for the therapist to partner with each member in a way that doesn't make it seem like you're picking sides or blaming one other party, but more so seeing what structures in this family or interactions or dynamics or relationships or systems in this family or situation aren't working. Can we change so that it's more adaptive and the family can function in a healthy and happy way? So I think moving forward, my work with clients will be very specific in terms of the homework I give, and that depending on what the issue is. There are some challenges around being able to really engage and dig deep into the situations that we were dealing with. But I think in the short amount of time that I had, I was able to figure out what was wrong. I was able to show that I'm listening and I understand, and repeating back to them what I'm hearing and waiting for confirmation. I was able to then go through an exercise in person, and then I was able to show their strengths that they had as a family, which is very important, and strengths that they could get back to through goal setting outside of the therapy session. So I think overall, it was my good first attempt at doing a family type of intervention and work. And I'm definitely excited to do more work in terms of family systems and groups that are closely related, and how I can show that it's not always about blaming the person for the issues that are happening, but more so understanding what's going on for everybody, so that then they can approach the situation with more empathy and caring, and then change those dynamics. So that was my presentation. Thank you so much for watching. I'm excited for all of your feedback.